Alright, this is Spectator Spider-Man 178. This is the first issue in Jim DeMatteis' run on this book. Before this, he had wrote Spider-Man in a run on Spider-Man Team Up, and famously he also did Spider-Man's Last Hunt, a storyline which is consistently named as one of the best Spider-Man stories ever. This is Jim DeMatteis' first proper ongoing run on a Spider-Man book, or at least what is exclusively a Spider-Man book. He lasts until issue 200 and then he is upgraded to Amazing Spider-Man, but he wound up leaving during the early days of the Clone Saga. The first story here, called The Children Within, this is a loose follow-up to Spider-Man's Last Hunt. We've seen in other reviews there have been loads of sequels or successors to Spider-Man's Last Hunt. Most of them are rubbish. Even the one that was an actual flat-out sequel by the same creative team. But this one, easily the best of them all. This isn't interested in repeating or rehashing the past story. This is all about building on what that story set up and did, and playing with its loose ends, one of which is Vermin Man. He is the villain for this issue. Vermin Man, he was a subplot in Spider-Man's Last Hunt. He was like the monster man that Hunter Man went down into the sewers to start hunting. Vermin Man, he is a fantastic character. He is one of my favourite Spider-Man villains. I was definitely talking out my arse when I announced that he was Spider-Man's best villain. He is one of Spider-Man's best villains, but he's not the best. What makes Vermin Man great, in my opinion, is that his story is a tragedy. He's not evil by choice, he was made into this. One of the reasons that I think he isn't as well known as most Spider-Man baddies is that he was really only written any good by Jim DeMatteis. And the other thing is that Vermin Man, he never really had much of a personal connection to Spider-Man or to Peter Parker. This is actually reflected in the fact that Vermin Man first appeared as a Captain America baddie before he moved over to Spider-Man's books. His backstory is that Baron Zero and Toby Jones, they kidnapped him. This is like him there. This is his inner child. They kidnapped him and mutated him into Vermin Man, this feral beast. Vermin Man, he has got little of his humanity left. He's like a vicious animal, but he is a victim, and that is one of the main themes of this issue and this story. Spider-Man and Dr. Ravenclaw, they are discussing and debating Vermin Man and how culpable he is for his actions. Vermin Man, he has been murdering and slaughtering people, and Spider-Man is firmly of the mind that Vermin Man is responsible for his actions, whereas Dr. Ravenclaw, this is her first appearance by the way, she believes that Vermin Man isn't to be blamed and that he can be cured with psychological help. But maybe Spider-Man, his opinion is influenced by him associating Vermin Man with all the traumas of being buried alive in Spider-Man's Last Hunt. We actually saw this issue reprinted in the Marvel Tales Ravenclaw book, and I think I covered a few of my points in that, but one of my only nitpicks of this run is that Jim DeMatteis, he writes it as if Spider-Man's Last Hunt is still fresh in Spider-Man's mind, when in truth there was 3 or 4 years worth of comics between them. Spider-Man, part of his reasoning for not feeling sympathy for Vermin Man is because of all the victims, all the people that he's killed and their families and stuff like that. He is Spider-Man, so he feels responsible for all those lives that Vermin Man has taken and all them lives that Vermin Man has destroyed. So it's not like the case that Spider-Man is just being an unsympathetic jerk. He's been motivated by his built-in character and personality. This story has never been collected, which is honestly bonkers. This is one of the best Spider-Man stories out there. This whole run is like high-grade Spider-Man dynamite. This story is 7 parts, and while it focuses on Vermin Man and this dive into Vermin Man's psychological side and all the guilt and the humanity, it's more well known for its subplot with Larry Osborn. In this story, we see Larry Osborn, his mental health decline, and he ends up going mad and becoming the Green Gobbler again. And Larry Osborn, as the Green Gobbler, will be the main ongoing villain for this run. This is obviously a nice complement to the main story. They're both dealing with similar issues, psychological health, stuff like that. And with Larry Osborn, there's a whole father-son thing. We get a little bit of that with Vermin Man as well in the next issue. But yeah, here we have got Larry Osborn and his son. But also Larry Osborn, he is seeing images of his dad, Norman Osborn, who is like berating him. And we didn't really get a hint here of where this story is going, but there is Mary James, Spider-Man's supermodel wife. We like her. Something else that deserves praise though is the art by John Buscema. Some people look at John Buscema and see him as being like the weaker of the Buscema brothers. I think that is grossly unfair. I think they were both fantastic artists in their own right. Here, John Buscema, he does some really interesting sequential panel stuff. For this whole run, he does some fascinating things, showing facial reactions or slow mood changes and things like that. Sorry if this review is a bit like a remake. We did already kind of look at this issue in that reprint. I really just wanted to talk more about how Vermin Man is a good villain and one of my favourite Spider-Man baddies. Although in my Eisner Award-winning beloved run on Captain America, with art maybe by Ed McGinsters, I would want to have Captain America cross paths with Vermin Man again. So Spider-Man, he is out trying to hunt down Vermin Man, but first he just stumbles onto a regular boring mugger. Spider-Man, he is getting frantic and tired because he has been out looking for Vermin Man for ages, and he won't give up because he doesn't want any more blood spills or any more blood on his hands or whatever. And Vermin Man attacks a trucker and steals his van and somehow can drive it. And the hero doesn't actually cross paths with the villain in this comic. Spider-Man, he goes back home to his supermodel wife and he cannot sleep because Vermin Man is still out there. Meanwhile, Larry Osborn, he cannot sleep as well because he has seen his dad's Casper. And during all this, Vermin Man, his inner child, has been leading him to his childhood home to confront his dad. See, I told you that would happen and it would parallel with the subplot. You definitely should check this story out. Spectator Spider-Man, 178 until 183 or 4. It says it's 6 parts, but there's like an aftermath issue, which is really part 7. It's brilliant. If you like good Spider-Man stories, you will like this one. Good creators, good story, good stuff in general. So I'll rate it 7 thumbs up.